Welcome to Dungeon Tales, a Dungeons & Dragons 5e experience with 3.5 magic. I'm your Dungeon Master, Kais of Stardust, joined by Mike, James, Kel, and Smokey. Without further ado, let's roll some dice!
Hey guys, Alexander here. Glad to see you again. It's been some time and I'm sure you need a little bit of a recap. So, I figured I'd make myself useful and put in some hours at the editing department. So last time we left the gang, they tracked down the shoes by following their arcane magic, which led them to a raccoon bandit warehouse. After arriving at the location, they found an entrance in the side of the building. After Sans decided to toss his head into the place and crack his noggin, so to speak, Cacta uses new spider climbing slippers to traverse into the entrance. From there, he spied on the operation going on within the warehouse. From here, the gang learned that the slippers were magically stuck onto a wood elf sorcerer and trapping her to continuously dance. While her bandit colleagues laughed and watched her do so for their own amusement, Cacta decided to impersonate a city official to gain intel by fooling the bandits into thinking he was there to do an inspection. Meanwhile, while Nightfall was on the lookout, he saw a mouse spying on him. He pursued the mouse folk through the rooftops and into the hedge maze. As he jumped into the hedge, it transported him to a strange beach, where he ended up meeting the Cheshire Cat, a strange cat with an obsession with turning his cave into a coin-covered paradise. He talked to the cat for a while before having him transport him back to the gang. While trying to figure out their next move, the gang back in the warehouse ended up alerting the bandits. With some quick thinking, Sans used his telepathy to speak to the woman who agreed to help them in exchange of getting her revenge on the bandits. Just as soon as this was happening, Nightfall showed back up. Using a spell, he made it seem like the warehouse was ambushed. And with some help from the wood elf and her ash snake, a giant 8-foot-tall snake made of molten lava and ash, woo-wee, that thing was crazy. The gang killed off the leader and scared off the goons. After this, the party headed off to the Mages Guild, where they learned that they might be able to get the slippers off, but while en route there, they encountered a strange house surrounded by mushrooms and snapping plants. After realizing that they may have found the house that was mentioned in the letter, that if they were to stay there, they could inherit it, the gang decided to go ahead and make their way into the home. Alright, I think that gets us all caught up. Hopefully you enjoyed today's adventure.
Hey, Alex! Been looking for you. Where the heck are you?
Oh, I think they're calling me.
Alex!
Oh, gotta go. Ta-ta!
So I think this is your first time being on the podcast, Kel. So because the first time that I actually had you on the podcast, unfortunately that audio was deleted and did not go through correctly. So, to anyone who is listening to this podcast at home, this is Kel. They are playing a warlock human named Tony. They have, quote-unquote, been traveling with the party the whole time. They've just been absent for a few sessions. So, anywho, you guys are all together, and you are in this house. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit of information about this house. So, as you make your way into the mansion, you come to the entrance hall. After the announcement, the confetti that showered everyone and basically said congratulations for joining and feel free to explore and make yourself home, you can now see that the room around you is more rectangular by nature, and the floor that you guys are walking on is golden wood. It is dotted with lavish rugs and bits of fur. There's a long bench along the wall that you would guess would be for sitting to take your shoes off. You can see movement above you, and as all of you look up, you can see that the ceiling is actually a mural of a warrior fighting a large 3-headed beast. This kind of looks like a dog mixed with a dragon, and as you watch the battle scene unfold and the warrior dodges out of the way as fire shoots out of this dog's mouth, as it does, you can swear that it gets extremely warm in this room. After this small battle scene, you can see that the scene keeps repeating itself over and over again. Outside of this, there is a door on the opposite side of the room with a decorative sign above the door, and you can see that it is surrounded in wood-burned flowers with the phrase, "Welcome home." What do you do?
So James Nightfall would like to he would like to go up to the door and slowly open it to see what happens.
Okay. And a quick question: is anyone else doing any sort of investigating in this room before you open the door?
Sans is shaking the confetti out of his body.
Oh, right. I was still playing around in that last time when we left.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, there is so much confetti, Sans. Like, you are having to shake it out of your eyeballs. It's like in your sleeves and in your clothes, in your boots, in your backpack. Like, everywhere you turn, there is just one more piece of confetti.
Quick question, DM. Is it still the same day as the first session?
Let me see here. No, I believe
It is.
it is. It is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is. I was trying to see if you guys had a
It took
rest.
about 4 hours for us to get to the store.
Yes, it is. I think I'm going to say that it's probably about at this point close to late evening at this point. But
Alright, I don't need to summon another crab. Got it.
oh yeah, your crab is currently being occupied and is being used as a carry-on for the wizard.
Being used as a gurney.
Yeah, currently there is an unconscious wizard on there with the thief, I should say, with the magic shoes that's being used to be transport her to the Mages Guild.
I would like to summon another one then, just for an in case of combat kind of situation.
Okay, I need to pull up your information because there is something interesting that happens. Okay, yeah, you go ahead and put your hand into the bag, and as you do, you again feel that wet sogginess, and you kind of grab this slimy thing. Give me 1 second here because I need to pull up what this does, because it has been a while since we have gone over this information. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and roll a dice, and I'm going to see. Okay, yep. So as you reach in and grab that kind of slimy item and pull it out of the bag, you see a whoosh of smoke, and you are now holding a giant octopus. This thing is almost the same size as the crab. It's like basically like holding a giant octopus, without lack of better words. It is a relatively huge creature. Relatively like a medium-sized beast. But yeah, no.
Sam turns his hat backwards and says, "Octopus, I choose you."
Interesting.
Tony just looks over and just says, "Ha ha."
So yeah, you now have a giant octopus. What are you doing with this creature? You just it's kind of flailing around, and it's slowly wrapping itself around you, relatively tight.
I just tell it to loosen itself.
Okay. Yeah, it looks very uncomfortable being out of water. Like you can see it making some strange noises.
I think we
look
should try to find the bathhouse room.
Actually,
Yeah.
considering it's supposed to be a mansion, there should be plenty of water around. Lots
Okay.
of mansions love having different water features around.
So
That's why I
Sam's
said
gonna look for a bathtub.
okay, hey Sans, can you do an investigation check, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a bathtub for this thing.
Okay. Yeah, this thing is just kind of latching onto you like a backpack.
Yeah, that's
How would I-
that's a 4. That's a 4.
What I would give for a decanter of endless water.
Okay, so you got a 4.
Yeah, Sam's is doing awfully bad. The confetti's in his eyes.
Yeah, can someone else give me, anyone else give me an arcane, a quick perception, sorry, not, a quick investigation check, since you all are kind of looking for this bathroom.
12.
A 12? Okay. As you guys look around, you don't find anything specifically in this room. However, one of you, I'm going to say Tony, since you have this octopus, as you walk past this one little desk, your octopus kind of just sticks out its arm and slaps one of the vases and knocks it to the ground, and it shatters. As it shatters, inside this vase, you find 35 gold pieces that spill out onto the ground. What do you do?
I would like to take the 35 gold pieces.
Okay.
And say bad octopus. No.
Okay,
As I just
great.
pocket yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and add 35 gold to your inventory. As far as that goes, as you guys, there's nothing really else in this room. It is all just kind of the equivalency of a foyer. It's just basically front door, and then it leads to another door on the opposite side of the room that says "Welcome Home." And as you go over to the door, who was it who opened the door?
I was opening the door.
Okay, all right, sure. So, Nightfall, as you go and open the door, you see... Let's see here. Why? Okay. So, yeah, as you make your way over to this room, you can see that this is just kind of a pit. So... when you look down into this room, you can see that there is a swirling set of slides. They all seem to kind of just go into different directions. Let me see. Yes. So yeah, you can see that there are 4 different slides. And these slides, they seem to kind of just go into different areas, but they're all kind of rotating down below you. If you want to go ahead and go onto one of these slides, you will have to give me, I'll need to go ahead and get a D6 roll from whoever is going down there.
You said a D6?
Yes, someone will just roll a D6, and then I will determine which room you end up in based upon that. Also, who was it who rolled above a 10 on perception?
On the investigation, that was me at the door.
Okay, when you rolled this, you didn't, as you were kind of observing this, you did notice on the side of the wall, there is a gargoyle. And I'm going to say with that roll, you're kind of like putting your hand like on its like face to try to steady yourself as you're looking down into this kind of pit. And as you do, it says, "Oh, ow, my face!" And you can now see that this gargoyle is talking to you. And just to be clear, this gargoyle is just a bust. It's not like a full gargoyle. It's just like a small little bust.
As a reaction, I'm going to jerk my hand away, and because you said there's a pit, because I'm jerking my hand away, not expecting it. I know this is going to mess me up, but I'm going to make it so that I fall onto one of the slides.
Okay. Sure. I mean, the platform is relatively big. It's like 10 feet across. Okay. So if you do fall, you would just fall onto the ground.
Then I will fall onto the platform.
Okay.
How it made it seem, I thought it was like...
No, yeah.
Door, and then a small platform with the slides.
Yeah, to clarify, it's a large cylinder room, and in the middle is basically a central column, and these slides, they meet this platform, and then from there, but it keeps rotating around, and it's fast enough that it's completely random on where you'll end up. And the slides they are not discernitive on color. They're all the same color, and they just kind of slide around and meet at the platform, to clarify. But this gargoyle says, oh, hey there. Oh, didn't mean to scare ya. My name's Jim. I saw you guys were looking around there. Anything I can do to help?
Sand starts picking his nose.
Oh!
Not Santa's nose, the gargoyle's nose.
Ow! Okay, I really don't like that.
I want to ask the gargoyle how many people have been through this house already.
Oh, well, you are in luck. I actually watch this area a lot. Oh goodness. I mean, this has been going on for several years. I'd say at least about 100 or so. It's hard to say, honestly. I think right around 100. I think, yeah, since this house was built. Would you like to know any other cool facts about this house?
He says, as Santa's still picking the gargoyle's nose.
Okay.
Jim, do you know where the bathroom is? Or a
Oh,
bathtub?
I think that might be on floor 36. It's pretty far away from here. Let's see here. Yeah, believe it or not, there's actually only 30 rooms in here. So finding room 36 might be a bit of a challenge. I tell you, the owner of this house really liked a good, interesting maze. We are into Hedgegrove, of course, so I suppose you might like mazes when you do that. But yeah, do you want to know anything else? I've got all types of cool information about this house.
Do you mind if I pick you up and take you for a ride with me? That way I can explore the house and still get the information.
That would be wonderful. Unfortunately, I'm bolted to this wall. The owner was very particular about not having that happen. Unfortunately, that'd be cheating. And you can't be cheating on a contest, can you?
Nope. But if we win this house, would you like it so that you're able to move around the house?
Well, I've always been bolted to this wall. I mean, I suppose that would be interesting to see what's outside of here, but I would probably need some legs and some arms. But yeah, I mean, I suppose that, I mean, if we won if you won the challenge, that would be really cool, I guess. Yeah, nobody's ever asked me that. Wow.
Well,
Poke him in the eye.
Ow!
quit it.
What did I find in his nose for 15 investigation?
Absolutely nothing. Solid stone.
Does he have boogers?
No, but I'm made of stone. I don't know
He's a
why you're trying to
stone
find boogers in my
gargoyle.
stone nose.
Okay.
But
So,
for that D6,
okay.
I rolled a 4.
What is it you did?
For the D6, I rolled a 4.
Okay. I will get to that in 1 second. Are you done talking to this gargoyle?
At the moment, because I can't think of anything else to ask, because getting any more information seems like it might be cheating for him.
Okay.
Yes.
He says, well, adventurer, good luck on the quest. Hopefully the odds are in your favor. And with that, I'm going to say that you go ahead and go down the slide. And let me see here. You got a 4, you said?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second to see where you end up.
Is his eye stone as well?
Yeah, everything's... I mean, he's a completely stone gargoyle, yes.
Okay, so like not the kind of gargoyle that's just an exterior stone, but the whole thing is really stone.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just completely stone, yes.
That's what Sans was trying to figure out.
I see. I'm sure you could have just asked him or done a perception check. But, you know, either way, I suppose, whatever you want to do there. Okay, so you rolled a 4, and let's see here. All right, so you ended up in that room. Okay, what else? What is everyone else doing? And I'll get back to you.
I forget. Did he tell us his name?
He said his name was Jim.
Ah, okay.
But my friends call me Jim, for short. But either way,
Yeah, we should probably still find that bathtub for this octopus.
it's just to give you a layout of the house. It seems like outside of this door that with these slides going down it, there is no other way like in or out of this foyer. So it's just the entrance, which is currently locked, then this door that goes to the slides, and then that's it. Like this is a very straight hallway, and that's all it goes to.
You said
Jess
D6?
is going to gently roll his head down one of the slides.
That's not a good idea.
If you do that, I will tell you this. You will be separated from your body, and that will kill you.
Oh, okay. I just thought if I went down the exact same slide.
Yeah, no, if you do that, that will be such a distance, it'll be over 100 feet, you will instantly go to 1 HP and go unconscious.
Alright, well, okay. Yeah, I just take a slide and just go.
Okay, roll a d6, Sans.
5.
You got a 5. Okay, so, oh, dear God, I've got to make some notes. Okay, so, real quickly, Sans, you got a 5. And who got a 4?
Nightfall.
Nightfall got a 4. And Kel, is Tony going down the slide as well? Or something that I will say, if someone wants, anyone who has not gone down the slide yet, you can give me a perception check.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Okay.
That is a 16, my friend.
Okay, with a 16, you do notice, something that you do notice on Jim is a small little button in the back of his throat. And he sees you eyeing it, and he says, "Oh, that's the mechanism to pause the slides. However, it only works if one person holds it. So basically, kind of like a courtesy thing, you know."
As he's talking, I just shove my mouth in his throat and push the button.
Okay, sure. The slide does stop, and give me 1 second. Okay, the slide stops, and what are you doing? Basically, just to let you know, if you're holding this button, if you release it, it'll start going again. So basically, you're just holding the door for someone. Alexander walks up to you. He says, "Oh, did you want me to go down there?"
Might as well. I have an octopus right here that could probably hold it just long enough before it dies.
That's actually a good idea. Sure, I'll go ahead and do that. I will, as soon as you see Alexander get ready to step his foot on to the slide, the platform beneath him just opens up, and he falls. And he's like, "Ah!" as he falls down the entire corridor. And you hear the gargoyle kind of talk past your hand. He's like, ooh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, gnomes are not allowed on the challenge. Something about them being part of the Feywild. Just not allowed. They immediately get expelled. Oh well. Did anyone else want to go?
So the crab is only holding things on his back, correct?
Yes. The crab is currently holding the wizard.
And the octopus is still on my neck, correct?
Yeah, he's like basically around you like a backpack. Who else has not gone down the slide? Sans, Nightfall, Cacta, you have not, correct?
I have not, but I already also rolled to go down a slide as well.
Okay, yeah, if you go down this slide, it's basically already picked for you. Let's see here.
Would you like me to change it to another slide? I can just let go of the button and push it again.
Sam turns to the gargoyle and says, "Hey, bud."
Yes, I apologize. I was really enjoying these nice tongue pats that your friend was giving me. Yes, how can I help you?
Hey, you think it'd be considered cheating if I rode on somebody down the slide?
Oh, yes, definitely. It would definitely be considered cheating. Unfortunately, you can have only one person down the slide at a time.
He says, "Well, if it's not a person," he points to the crowd.
Oh no! It looks like your friend's unconscious. Yeah. You know, I tell you, they can wait here with me in the foyer, but unfortunately, unconscious players can't participate. It's the rules.
I'd say that foyer is probably the safest place.
All right, can I bring the crab with me then?
Oh, yeah, no familiars. Ah, gosh, yeah, it looks
What
like
about
you
the
guys...
octopus?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's considered a familiar. It looks like it's drowning or suffocating. Just get us some water.
That's what we're
I mean,
trying
do
to
you
do.
have water?
I don't. No, there's no water up here. They didn't equip me
I
with
don't
that
have water
feature.
either, then I guess it has to drown.
Aren't you a gargoyle, though? Gargoyles are supposed to carry water.
They are? Oh, interesting. I'm the only gargoyle I've met so far. I couldn't really tell you.
Well, at least they're supposed to deposit water. They're usually used on buildings in order to be used as drain spouts.
Wow, that sounds really fascinating. Well, I tell you, if I ever meet another gargoyle, I'll share that information with them. I'll add that to my database of info. Thanks.
All right.
All right, so what are you
I
guys
can't
doing?
bring my octopus or my crab.
No, you
So
cannot.
I'm asking him, like the actual gargoyle himself.
Yeah, he's saying that basically if they went onto the slide, that the game would basically immediately expel them to.
So only if they go on the slide. Got you. So nothing is stopping them from shoving their tentacle and or claw down their throat.
It's just a small recess of a hole. So I mean,
Yeah. The octopus might still be able to do it.
you can try if you want to give like a sleight of hand check for your octopus.
Just to keep the button pushed so we can all go down the same slide.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, right now it's just Cacta and Tony, right? I think everyone else. So Sans, you already went down. Nightfall, you already went down. Yeah, and Cacta and Tony. I mean, unless I'm missing someone here.
I mean, as long as it's more than just one person down a slide with me, I'll probably survive.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and I have already rolled for you. So yeah, I already have that info here. So yeah, it's up to you. What you're wanting to do there.
I want me and
So are both you and Cacta going down the same room?
if Captain agrees.
I liked my roll.
What'd you roll?
I got a 4.
Okay.
You can tell my character no.
I
It's
know,
up
but
to
you're
you.
holding the button so patiently.
I need you guys to make a decision though. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna shove Sans down the slide.
Sans has already gone down the slide.
Ow.
Yeah, I already gone.
Yeah, Sans and Nightfall have already gone. It's just you, Cacta, and Tony.
Just me and you.
And I'm just gonna tell him that I want to take the risk and jump down.
Okay, you
All
jump
right.
down the
I
slide.
let go of the button.
Okay, and the octopus stays there and holds the button, and the slide stays on that, and you and Cacta go down the same slide. All right, so how this is going to work, we are going to pan between you guys, and each of you guys is going to be doing something, and once you make an action and decision on what you're doing, I'll pan over to the next player. So don't feel left out if there's going to be a bit of a delay here between you guys. Unfortunately, jump cuts. That's how it has to work. So let's see here. So Sans, you got a 5. Okay. You are in room 4. Now,
That doesn't make sense. Room 5 should be room 5.
oh yes, wouldn't that be interesting if it was? Nightfall, you rolled a 4. You ended up in room 3. Last but not least, we have Cacta and Tony. Both of you are in the same room.
Actually, I got a question about all this.
Mm-hmm.
So, can we see where everyone else landed? Like,
No. Nope, it spins around in a circle, so it blocks you from view. You can't see where they ended up. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Sans. In this slide, you see, looks like it ends at a wall, and at the very last second, the wall opens up. You are spit into it, and as you fall through this trap door, you land softly on the floor. You can see that along the wall is this circus-style strength test. you can see that there's a little pedestal on the ground, and you can see that there's a long track that goes up the wall and a bell at the top. You can see that there's that little lead bullet there on the track, and you can see that there is a warhammer next to it. And in this room, you can see a sign, and this sign says, "A test of strength. Ring the bell to proceed to the next level." And so how this works is I will need you to do a athletics check of 12.
So the stance goes to on his hands, which of course no spit comes out.
Okay.
Exit. Well, whatever. He grips the handle. Alright. And he rolls. Alright. A 21.
Okay, great. A 21. Perfect. So yeah, you was that a crit or was that just an unnatural?
That's 18 plus 3.
Okay. So yeah, you just with all of your strength slam into this pressure plate with this warhammer, and you hit the lead shot so hard that it actually hits the bell, and the bell flies off into like the ether. Like it's just gone. Like the whole lead shot, the bell, you hear it ring, and you again hear this kind of celebratory trumpet sound, and again you hear this pop as confetti falls down all over you again, and you see this light on the door say "Congratulations," and the door opens. Do you go through?
First off, and both of his arms have fallen off.
Okay.
He takes a moment to go, "Oh, what was this there?" And then he reattaches his arm and can't see where he's going, and takes about 15 minutes to get the confetti out of his eyes and find the door.
Okay, yeah, you spend an excessively long time just getting as much of this confetti out. As you walk through the door, you have the feeling that there's still more confetti on you somewhere, and it drives you crazy. You walk through the door. All right, so that is that challenge. All right, so Nightfall. You slide down this slide, and as you slide down the slide, you go to like what looks to be a dead end, and you kind of flinch because it looks like you're about to hit a wall. The wall itself opens up. You shoot into this little chute, and you fall. You fall for a tiny bit. It's not enough to take any sort of damage, but you land on the ground. When you land on the ground, you can see that you land on this dark oak floor, and as you kind of get to your feet, you see in front of you there is a table. This table has 3 items on it, and above it there is a wooden sign. The table looks like it's been here for a while, and it's covered with moss and other colorful vines. To the right of you there is a reinforced door that you assume leads out of here, and instead of standard torches in this room, you can see that there is small little colorful mushrooms that illuminate the room instead of traditional light. So you do see that sign there. It doesn't look like there's any other way in or out of this room. It looks like wherever you came from, it seems to have closed up. So what are you doing? Do you read the sign or?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you read the sign. It's in common, and it says, "In order to proceed through this room, you must show that you have intelligence to pass. Before you are 3 items. These items correlate to the answer to the riddle. Place the one that you think is correct. If the answer is correct, you will proceed." And below that, you see another sign, and it says, "Riddle. I sizzle like bacon. I'm made with an egg. I have plenty of backbone, but not a good leg. I peel layers like an onion, but still remain whole. I can be long like a flagpole, yet I fit in a hole. What am I?" And as you look at the table, you can see that 3 runes sit on the table, kind of like blocks. One is an image of a baby bird. One is an image of a worm, and one is an image of a snake. You choose.
Pick up the snake.
Okay. You go and you pick up the rune with the image of the snake on it, and you fit it into the hole that is on the wall. As you fit this into the wall, the rune lights up with a green kind of hue, and the door opens, and you again hear that congratulatory trumpet sound, and the room is flooded with glitter as the door opens and says, "Congratulations. Good job on solving my riddle." Do you proceed on to the next room?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. You head on over to the next room.
All right, Cacta and Tony.
As both of you slide down this slide, you see looks like it ends at a wall, and at the very last second, the wall opens up. You are spit into it, and as you fall through this trap door, both of you land softly on the floor, and as you kind of see what you landed on, you can see that they're brightly colored pillows. As you look around this room, you can see that the walls seem to be made of vines and flowers of bright and vibrant colors, species of which you've never seen before. To the right of you, there is a door, and in front of you, there are 3 fountains, with 2 cups next to each of them. The fountains seem to be flowing with a strange liquid in each of them. One is bright pink, one is bright orange, and one is dark green. There's a sign above the fountain on the wall, and to the left, there is a mirror suspended from the wall. Do you read the sign?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
You don't want to just blindly do something without reading? Oh, okay. Jeez.
Just randomly piss a trick.
Well,
I was-
now that I think about it,
I never thought I was going to be stuck with people who read the terms of service agreements. Okay, all right. So, anyways, you guys read the sign, and it says, "To pass through this room, you must complete a challenge of luck. There are no skills or tricks, just a pure gamble of fate. Pick a fountain and drink from it. If you choose correctly, the door will open. Good luck."
I would like to fill one of the cups up and walk over to the mirror with the cup.
Okay. Which cup? This does actually matter. Which fountain are you choosing? Because you
know what?
just
Screw it. I'm going to do a cup of pink and a cup of orange and carry both of them.
And I'll bring over the dark green.
Okay. You do see that the rules. I do want to just mention this. You do see, like in small fine print, it does say you can only drink one of the drinks. Like this is like a note that's actually on the fountain. And basically, just kind of let you know how the rules work. Whatever one of you chooses, both of you have to choose, or both of you fail.
All right. So we're not drinking them yet, so let's walk over to the mirror.
You walk over to the mirror, and you see your reflection in it. It looks like a normal mirror.
What does the inside of the cups look like with the liquids?
With the liquids in it, again, which ones did you pick up? The pink and the orange?
All 3. Because I brought
picked up all 3.
Okay. Yes. So Tony, you are holding the pink and the orange, and Cacta, you're holding the green. So the pink one kind of looks a little murky. It kind of like swirls around with. You can kind of see it's like it looks pink, and it also kind of looks like there's like swirls of white in there. The orange one looks a little bit more kind of like, I guess you could say, orange juice. It swirls around, but it does kind of look like you do see kind of like a pulpy orange juice. It does look like there's some sort of pulp kind of floating around in there. Cacta, as you look at the green one, it does. It's a kind of like a dark green, kind of like I guess you could say like a health food sort of green. kind of like someone kind of put like maybe some like apples and like spinach. It looks very earthy. Like it kind of looks like one of the drinks you would get at the store. So, which one do you? What are you guys doing?
And that's what they look like in the mirror.
Yeah, they all look the same, regardless of whether or not you're looking at them in the mirror or in person. There's no difference.
So the mirror was just this mirror.
Yep, the mirror's just a
check
mirror.
on myself for a few more seconds and then go back. All right. Well, I do not want to take this orange one. The green one looks disgusting, but also good at the same time, and the pink one, I don't know how to feel.
Same. The orange one I don't trust because it's the one that looks more like a regular drink than we would actually want to drink. The pink one's so brightly colored that it definitely makes me worried. And
Maybe
the green
we should
one,
drink the normal-looking one, or the air quotes normal. Do you agree?
so which one were you talking about being normal?
The green one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm nervous about this.
I am as well.
Mainly because we're doing what they tell you not to do in science class, which is to ingest random liquids.
Oh, we didn't smell them. Oh, I would like to smell the drinks.
Okay, sure. Which ones are you smelling?
All of them.
Okay, I'm going to go again in order, since Tony is holding the pink and the orange one. You smell the pink one. It smells kind of essence of berries. The orange one smells kind of like it looks. It smells like kind of like like an orange kind of, but not like an orange juice, more like an orange soda. Without dropping actual names here, it looks like it smells kind of like an orange soda, like a very sort of artificial orange. The cacta, the green one, smells kind of like it looks. It smells earthy. It smells kind of like you would guess some sort of kind of like leafy green. It doesn't smell bad. It just smells very earthy.
I don't know. I sort of trust the green one most because we are in the Fey Wilds, which does revolve around plants a lot.
True, but then aren't we just killing things?
Well, think about it this way: they didn't want to let anyone that's normally from the Fey Wilds down here.
Fair point. But this pink one, though. Oh, I so want to try it.
Yeah, but I don't know. The fact that it's so bright.
I do want to make this decision a little bit more dicey. You guys have been standing around, I'm going to say at this point, for about 2-3 minutes. All of a sudden, you see a section of the wall above the sign pull up, and you see a timer. And the timer says 2 minutes, and it is counting down. And you hear a rumbling on the floor, and you can see that you see on the far side of the floor, you do see a section of the flooring fall out, like a chunk of the floor fall out into an abyssy hole. And the timer is now counting down from 2 minutes.
Oh my! So green one? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go get you a cup, or give me a cup. I just throw the other 2 cups behind me on the ground.
Okay.
And walk over to the green one and get my cup.
Okay, great. So you guys fill up the cups with the green, and as this timer is counting down from 1:40, you both quickly drink them. And after that, the timer stops, and the floor stops falling apart. And let me describe this. It tastes cold, which you would think is refreshing, but not in a good way. It tastes cold, slimy, gritty, and earthy. Kind of like someone took like a bunch of vegetables and then just threw in like a little bit of sand and grinded it all together. And you get this weird slimy aftertaste, kind of like you just ingested a piece of slimy spinach.
Ugh.
And after this very unpleasant experience, you feel some changes.
Oh god, it goes for puberty.
Both of you look at horror as your skin changes from its color to this kind of green complexion. And as you look at each other, you both can see that you both physically change. Your skin goes to this scaly green color. Your fingers grow long claws, and both of you grow tails. And on the board, you see fail. And as soon as you see this fail go across the board, you hear an announcement that says,
I'm sorry, contestant. Did not pass.
and as soon as that loudspeaker cuts off, the floor opens up, and both of you fall. And
As I fall, I'd like to say, "You're dumb game."
As
we
fall,
will.
I'm going to actually grab onto him because I still have the ring of levitation.
Okay. You both grab onto each other. I will say that is going to slow your descent. But since since the weight requirements of Featherfall states one person, you're still going to be following at a speed of half. So you're still going to take a little bit of damage, but not as much. So I'm going to say that for that, you fall 40 feet. Cutting half is going to be 20. You're both only going to take 5 points of damage. Your fall is cushioned. All right. Moving on to Nightfall. You both are into a large banquet hall. And as you go through the doorway, you see that you meet Sans. You see that the opposite of you has come out of a different door. And as you look around, you see this feast that has been prepared for you. You see these lit candles and fancy decorations adorning this long chamber hall table. And there doesn't seem to be anywhere else in this room. This seems to be kind of like the end room. There is a large kind of serving tray that is in the middle of the table. It's a nice decorative silver. And as you enter the room, you hear a muffled coming from under the silver tray. And it seems to be rattling. What do you do?
I turn to Nightfall and I look at the dish and then I look at him and I say, "You gonna eat that?"
I would like to go over and investigate.
Okay, sure. You pull up. You cautiously pull open the tray, and you are now looking at a small. You're looking at a small deer folk. They have relatively soft features. They have these kind of medium-sized antlers. You can see that they have kind of long, curly hair and autumn eyes. And they look at you, and you can tell that they are gagged. What do you do?
Before I do anything with the deer folk, I would like to look around the room and see if I can see any signs, any note, anything that'll tell me what this challenge would be.
There is no signs anywhere from what you see.
I look under the lid.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice shiny metal lid, and you see your reflection staring back at you.
I ungag the deer folk.
Okay, you ungag the deer folk. They are currently bound, but they say,
Are you here to eat me, or are you here to help me? I was one of the contestants.
This deer folk, they address themselves as Hazel. You can see that they look extremely frightened by the situation, by the way. They are shaking, but they are still bound with ropes.
Sans is going to look around for any rules. He's going to look under the tin where the deer guy is laying. He's going to look everywhere.
Yeah, you look everywhere, and it looks like this room does not have any sort of rules or anything that you can see.
So I would like to think back on that voice I heard, and because we talked to someone, is it the same voice as Jim Jim?
Which voice are you referring to? Are you referring to when you were talking about the unicorn?
No. When
Okay.
I was talking about like when we walk in and when we walked into the house and when we walked into the rooms, we each heard a voice. Is that voice the voice of Jim Jim?
You know what? To make things simple, yes. It seems like the same voice. It seems like he's kind of like the announcer.
I would like to, before I release the deer folk, I would like to yell for Jim Jim to see if he'll explain the rules of this portion.
Yeah. You shout out for clarification. You do not get a response. You do. Tell you what. Give me. What check should I have you do? Give me an insight check.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Ben's is going to go ahead and reach into the mind of the deer and see what he's thinking.
Okay. I'll get to that in a second.
Ooh, 6.
Okay. Here's what I'll tell you. It doesn't seem like the instructions are very clear on what to do here. However, it seems like whatever is going on in this room, it is awaiting a choice from you. And it does look like this table is lined for a feast, but it seems like the only quote-unquote food in this room would probably be the one that's been served. What you get, Sans, is this is Hazel. He is thinking at this current moment.
You're gonna eat me, aren't you? This is my punishment for being the loser of the challenge. I should have never failed the room of strength. This is a fate worse than death.
That is what they are thinking. He's like,
This skull guy. He's gonna chew me with his teeth and then spit me out of his ribcage and then probably chew me up again. And it's gonna be just such a horrible death. It's just gonna be a bunch of chopping.
and that's what he's thinking.
You know, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do minus the chewing. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to grab a knife and fork, and I'm going to mimic like I'm cutting into him. I'm going to gently stroke him with the knife, and I'm going to gently poke him with the fork, and I'm really just going to insert him into me and see what happens.
Can I try to make like a check to stop Sans from tormenting this poor deer folk?
Yeah, give me an opposed strength check, please. Yeah, what are you? Again, just to let you know, while you're mimicking this, Sans, you do see another timer. Well, this is your first timer you've seen. You do see a timer show up on the wall, and it's you see it says 1 minute, and it is counting down from 57.
Yeah, I'm going to mimic eat. I'm going to fake eating him. I'm going to put him into my body, but there ain't stomach acid. There's nothing. I can't really eat. So,
okay, here's what I'm going to say for this situation. That does not do anything.
Okay.
You're at 35 seconds. You see half of the floor fall through the ground.
I released it.
Well, I made my choice. What's your choice? I say with a mouthful of
Okay, yeah, this deer is screaming while you're doing this. He is in pure fear. 20 seconds on the clock. What are you doing?
I release him.
Okay, you cut his ties, and the timer stops at 14 seconds. And with that being the case, dear God, guys are so chaotic. As you make your decision and cut him free, you do see a sign now. This sign was hidden, but you do see this kind of gold scribbling start forming on the wall, and this sign is now etched into the wall, and it reads compassion. And as you cut him free, he says,
Oh, thank God. I was pretty sure I was gonna get eaten there, and I was very genuinely confused. I don't quite understand.
Sans is petting him.
Okay.
There. There, buddy.
He is
you okay?
slowly still backing away from you. He is absolutely terrified. But
Yeah.
he says,
Thank you. My name is Hazel, and I am forever in your debt. I am one of the losers of the challenges. I tried to get through the room of strength, and I failed. And then the next thing I know, I was brought here, and I've been here for several hours.
yes, carry on.
Because you had me roll the strength check, it was a natural 20.
Okay. I honestly can't remember what I had you roll a
I'm
check for,
trying
but
to
okay.
stop Sans from eating the deer folk.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you pulled him away from him doing that. Perfect. I will say this. I think, so technically speaking, eating him would have been a fail, just so you know. But since Sans is a skeleton, it kind of is a loophole because it doesn't actually kill the fawn. Anywho, carrying on. He says,
Thank you so much. I am forever in your debt. In fact, I promise to you, for your generosity, I am in your debt.
and he actually takes a knife off the table and quickly slices his hand. He says,
A blood pact, if you will.
and he clasps your hand, and your hand is now covered in blood. He says,
Thank you. I will go and aid you whenever necessary.
Sans gives him a handful of confetti.
okay, yeah, confetti does delayedly from the ground. It's almost like it was underwhelmed with the responses. It was like a delayed confetti. It was like, yay! So yes, he says, Hazel says,
I will aid you as best as I can. I'm always fond of saying, pay it forward, and your good action deserves another.
so yeah, just for sake of continuity, Hazel will now follow you around and help you as much as he is possible. So outside of that, you guys now are still in this room, and I'm going to pan back to you. Well, actually, no. I'm going to really quickly read this bit of information here. So the next thing that you do see after freeing this fawn and having this little bit of delayed interaction here with the confetti and the announcer saying,
Congratulations! That was a very strange and confusing solution. All right, wonderful, good job. Proceed on to the next room.
as the announcer cuts off, you now see another room. This room, again, it looked like it was just a wall, but now you see this archway form into the wall. And as it forms into the wall, you see that this leads to another room. You can't exactly see what is behind it, but this archway does have a stone frame, and it's carved with vivid, lifelike images of every single creature and beasts that you don't even know exactly what are. And ornately scribbled into the top of this archway is the word wisdom. And I will, as this archway forms, I'm going to pan over to the rest of the group. So, Cacta, Tony, you open your eyes, and you are in a small little chamber, and this chamber has a wooden door, and you see that the floor is lined with pillows. And as you look at each other, I do need to let you know some new information. Both of you look like lizards. You have a lizard's tail. You have lizard's scale. I am going to send both of you a little bit of information, but you both are a little bit more bulkier and a little bit more kind of muscular than you are before. But yeah, you both look like lizards. And I will send you some information here in a little bit, but I don't need to at this exact moment. But anyways, the door is currently shut. What are you guys doing? I will say this, you do hear music, and laughter coming on the opposite side of the door. It's very loud.
I mean, I guess we may as well look around at the room that we're in now.
Fair point, yeah.
So Cacta and Tony, so you guys are in this room. As you look around, doesn't really look like there's much of anything. There's a little bit of there's pillows on the floor. There's what looks to be like a chair in one of the corners, but other than that, it's just kind of like an empty room. It kind of looks like a waiting room. But yeah, other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything else in this room. It seems to just be kind of you can look up, and it does look like there's several different chutes that lead to different what you would assume is different areas. It looks like this is just kind of a pit that people get dropped into. But yeah, you do hear some noises and some chatter and stuff like that coming from the other side. What do you do?
I'm gonna build a pillow fort.
Okay, you build a pillow fort. This takes you a few minutes of time, and you build. Give me a performance check. Let's see how well.
Oh, wait, okay.
Let's see how well of a pillow fort you build. 12. Okay, yeah, you build a decent pillow fort, but as soon as you get into it, it collapses in on you, and you get buried with pillows. All right, what else are you doing?
I don't know what to do.
Neither do I. I mean, there's not really much to do in this room.
Yeah, you hear music and things like that coming from the other side of this door. If you want, you can give me like a perception check to try and learn a little bit more information. If somebody wants to give me a perception check.
Let me roll mine. Oh yes,
what 25. Is it?
Nice. With a 25,
you cautiously go over to the door, and you can hear lively music. It sounds like a huge amount of commotion coming from in here. It sounds like a party, almost. And you hear laughing and what sounds like clanking of things. And you go and try the door. The door's unlocked. It looks like this goes into somewhere else. What do you do?
I wasn't expecting the door to be unlocked.
I'll signal over for my ally to come over. Once he comes over,
okay,
I will open the door.
I'm gonna come over holding one of the chairs.
Okay, you come over holding a chair like you're about to tame a lion. As you slowly open the door.
Hey y'all, Kel here, with a quick ad break to tell you about Anchor. What is Anchor, you may ask? Well, it's only the easiest way to make and upload your own podcast. Let me explain why. Well, for starters, it is free. That's right, Free, free. And with all of us sheltered in and hunkered down, now is the best time to make a podcast. They also have built-in creation tools that let you record and edit the audio straight from your computer or even your phone. You don't even need to download anything. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast to places like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more places where podcasts are listened to, letting you focus on your creating. But the best part of this whole thing is that you can make money from your podcast with sponsorships through Anchor that require no minimum listenership. It is huge for everyone just starting out. It is everything you need to make a successful podcast in one central location. Now, if you're ready to take your big idea and share it with the world, then go over to anchor.fm, download the app, or simply click the link in the description to get started today. Well, that's all for me. Happy sailing.
Hey, Kaiser here. Today's episode is made possible by Audible. Now, as most of you know, Audible is the leading provider of audiobooks with over 180,000 books to choose from. Now, I know when I'm on a long drive or stuck in my daily commute, or even just wanting to relax with something to keep my mind off the grind, Audible comes through. And between you and me, I enjoy them because my attention span does not let me sit down to read traditionally, since I have so many things I'm doing during the day. So, if you're wanting to start your free 30-day trial, head on over to audibletrial.com/Dungeon Tales, or follow the link in our description and enjoy a free audiobook on us. That's all for me. Now back to the adventure. You can see a big, giant, open room
The floor, there's no cobblestone here. It seems like whatever this room is, it seems like base level ground. Like the floor is covered in dirt and sand. This is a huge chamber. This chamber is circular in nature, almost as big as what you would assume would be like a small city. The walls are lined with torches, and in the city, in this area, you see in front of you, you see a small little walkway in this dirt, and then you see this relatively large building directly in front of you called the Drunken Albatross. And it sounds like a lot of this noise is coming from here. It doesn't look like there's anyone else, like, outside walking around right now in this big chamber. It sounds like everything is coming from this big, huge building with the sign, the Drunken Albatross. What do you do?
I think we should walk up there.
Honestly, we don't have much other choice. Walking over there seems like the smartest option.
As you're talking, I just start walking.
Okay, I'll walk over with you. I was still holding that chair, though.
As you guys make your way over to the area, you hear from the insides of the door, you hear friendly laughs, you hear what sounds like a bunch of ruckus. It sounds like maybe someone possibly fighting. You hear like clanks of steel, but you do hear what sounds like people maybe throwing hands. But you hear cheering, you hear some dancing, it sounds like, and even some what sounds like live music. It sounds very rambunctious. What do you do?
We have come all this way.
Well, we have no other options unless I'd like to make a perception check around this room.
Okay, sure.
Alright, that's a nat 1.
Okay, with a nat 1, here is what I'll tell you. And for audience members who do forget, nat 1s in my campaign are DM wildcards. So, as you guys are kind of lingering around the outside of this room, and just kind of trying to take a look around and see maybe if there's like anything else that you do see, you hear a bit of commotion coming from inside, and then you see the doors. By the way, these are kind of like saloon style doors. The doors swing open. You guys have to kind of dodge out of the way as this female bird folk, she kind of looks like a raven, stumbles out. She's holding a beer and she says, oh, excuse me. I haven't seen you before. Where do you come from? Are you some of the new contestants I've heard about? You can see that this bird folk is kind of drunk, and she's kind of staggering around, but she's eyeing both of you with extreme curiosity. What do you do?
Why, indeed we are, madam. And I bow.
Oh, wonderful! I love new friends. Well, I tell you, I'm sure that you are relatively new here, so please come on in. We were actually just throwing a bit of a shindig, if you will. And she motions for you to come into this
I
tavern.
follow and ask as we're walking in, and what might your name be, madam?
Oh, that's so nice of you to ask. It's honestly very rare that people do. My name's Cynthia, Cynthia Bowlers. It's nice to meet you. I was in the adventuring group of number 36. You see, over time, we group our parties into the order in which we came here. I was the 36th group to come here. Anywho, please, come on in.
As she says this, my face, like, drops in, like, realization of what the fuck she just said.
Okay, sure. As she leads you in, do you want to give me a history check to see if you know what type of bird folk she is?
I got a 22.
20.
Okay, both of you guys. Yeah, both of you guys immediately know what this is. And Cacta, I'm going to say that you personally know what type of bird folk she is because you have actually done business with them in the past. These are Kinku. Cynthia is a Kinku, and you guys kind of know that Kingus have a very varying reputation. A lot of them are kind of basically judged as scoundrels and pickpockets, but there are still some good ones out there. However, a lot of them are actually vagabonds and driven by greed. But you do know that a lot of their speech is mimicked from things that they hear. But Cynthia doesn't seem to let this small little trait kind of bother her. She seems to speak very fluently with common. But she leads you into this tavern. It's a very well lit tavern. The floors are a very nice kind of dark cedar wood. There's about you would say that there's probably about 20 tables in this area. And as you inside, there's actually barely room to walk around, as there's a huge crowd of people in here, and it seems like they're all kind of doing a generous mixture of things. You see some throwing darts, some of them drinking. You see some placing bets and people doing arm wrestling challenges. Just a whole variety of things. And there's a generous mix of what seems to be every race, gender, and class and background in here. You can spot some people that look to be of high ranking. You see some that seem to be peasants. You do see, in addition to that, you do see a very busy boy running around serving people drinks. You see that he looks extremely flustered as he's kind of just running in and out of the back kitchen, trying to serve drinks to people, and people are just snatching them as soon as he's walking them out to the table. You can see at the tables there's all sorts of gamblings going on. In the far corner, you do spot a group of gnomes. They seem to be playing darts. At the far end of the bar, you see a seated figure in a dark cloak. It seems like everyone's kind of giving them a wide berth. And as far as that goes, there's a lot going on in here. What do you do? This Cynthia kind of just leads you in, and she says, welcome to the Drunken Albatross. Do you want me to buy you a drink?
I'm okay,
Yes, please.
but I'd like some information about the hooded figure.
Just traumatized from the drinks. Okay. Yeah, so she says, oh, we call him Steve. He doesn't really talk much. Kind of keeps to himself, really, but yeah, I don't really know too much more information other than that. And you can give me an insight check as she says this.
19.
Okay. You can see that she says this with kind of a glint in her eye. It seems like she may know a little bit more than that, but it seems like she doesn't. Either she doesn't trust you, or she may just be afraid to say. And just to kind of let you know, there is a lot to do in this room. So I mean, you can kind of pick what you want to do. You can try and chat with some of the gnomes. You can go take a look at this figure in the dark cloak. You can also, I mean, there's people gambling. You can also do some things there. And here's what I'm gonna do. While you guys are figuring that out, I'm gonna go ahead and pan back over to the rest of the party. So, Sans, Nightfall. So, you are in this room, this banquet hall. You do have the fawn, Hazel, following you, and as you guys are in this room, this archway has just showed itself, and this huge archway has all manners of different creatures etched into it, and you see the word wisdom carved into it. This seems to lead into another room. If you like, someone could give me a perception check to see if you guys can see more.
Starter Sans walks up to the deer and extends his hand, and he says, "Hey, my apologies, friend. wasn't actually trying to eat you. I hope you know that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good relief. I wasn't honestly sure. I tell you, it's hard to tell what people have intentions with, especially with just everyone going after this challenge.
I really couldn't care less about the challenge. I'll just throw that out there. But someone's got to get us out here.
You.
Okay, Hazel just starts busting out laughing as soon as you say you don't care about the challenge.
Oh, you're being serious. You do know what the challenge is, right? Have you not been informed?
No. Nope.
Oh, are you not familiar with Reno the Marvelous, the household member of this home? He's the whole reason why this challenge has been started. Everyone comes from everywhere to compete in this.
He just looks at you very puzzledly. He says,
I honestly couldn't understand why anyone would want to compete in the challenge of their own free will. The tests that you go through just to be able to get 3 wishes for your party, it's crazy. But hey, to each their own. More respect to you.
Yeah. And he just kind of like walks back over to Nightfall. Hey, did you know about any of this?
Sure. What are you doing, Nightfall?
I rolled this. I rolled a total of 7 for the perception.
Okay. A 7 on perception.
Spence is asking Nightfall if he knew about any of this.
You hear a light sort of buzzing sound coming from the door. Outside of that, you do see what looks to be something in the room past this archway, but you can't quite make it out. Sans is asking you, do you know anything about what Hazel is talking about? What do you do?
I knew that there was a challenge, though what I read, and I pull out the letter, what this says is we get to keep the house if we stay in here for 24 hours. It didn't say anything about 3 wishes. It didn't say anything about that. It just said we keep the house that supposedly is inheritable if we stay in here for 24 hours.
So,
Hazel looks over at you, and he seems very intrigued by what you're saying. He says,
Oh, I do apologize. I don't mean to intrude, but are you saying that you would inherit the house if you stay here for 24 hours? I wonder if they changed the rules. Do you care to know what we were promised?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. So we were promised that basically if we complete the challenges, that the person who bests all of the challenges will be able to find the owner of the house who is trapped somewhere in this area, and he will grant us 3 wishes collectively for freeing him. So that's what we have been instructed.
He looks very sad. He says,
Well, what was used of my party?
And he just kind of goes quiet.
So, for starters, Nightfall, and he just kind of like pulls him over to the side away from anyone else's ears. What? Are we trying to get out of this place? Like, all together? Ain't that the plan?
Well, I was planning on trying to get the house. That way, we actually had a safe place to come to when we need rest and whatnot.
We already have a place, a shop, that we robbed.
Yes, but that's not ours. According to this letter I got from the courier, if we win this challenge, this house is ours. It is ours to own and figure out what to do with it. And like I said, because I know we have magic users we're going to need a place where we can rest and not have to really worry about being ambushed and whatnot. I figured having a house would be a good thing. That's why when I realized it was this house, I rushed in. That way, we would have a place to return to, and we need to return home. So, yes, the goal eventually is to leave altogether, though preferably after 24 hours to claim the house, if that's what this is.
Wait, what's the exact wording on that? Sans wants to see the letter. He can't put his to see the letter.
I hand Sans the letter.
Sure. Yeah, Sans, from what you read, it does say... So, yeah, it just says that to whom it may concern, you have been selected to inherit this house. This is my last will and testament, and all you have to do is stay in this house for 24 hours. Once you do that, the house will become your property. Signed, R.
Is there a timer in this room somewhere? Says Sans after he reads that.
Did you say a timer?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you look around the room, and now that you're actually looking for it, you do see on the table there is a small little clock that seems to actually just state just in like a mark, like an hour placer mark, and it just says 1 hour, and it seems like it's counting up.
Hey, what's your take on this? I think we're not privy to the rules that others are. I think we can just stay in this room. That's Sam.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can't because half the floor is missing.
Just so you know, the floor has gone back as soon as the timer did stop. But as soon as you say that, Sans, you do again hear some sort of ominous rumbling. And Hazel says,
"Oh, you don't want to do that. If you stay in any room for too long, it's considered cheating. Basically, that you're just going to wait out the timer. If you do that, you'll fall through the floor and instantly lose. That's how I lost some of my members, unfortunately."
Seems like someone thought of everything.
So let's proceed forward and do our best.
Okay, so you guys start proceeding forward. Does anyone, it has been a little bit of time, does anyone else want to give me a perception check? As I said, you do hear a strange humming sound coming from the door with the words wisdom carved on top of it. If you want to if someone wants to give me a perception check, you can.
19 in total.
Okay, Sans, are you rolling this as well?
That's 17.
Okay, both of you, now that you're actively hearing it, as you get close to this door, you hear this buzzing sound. As you try and kind of make out what this sound is, you start to hear these cries and this chatter. And as you listen closely, as you get closer to the door, it sounds like every kind of voice crying out, and you hear creature noises, you hear the trumpet of elephants, you hear the sounds of monkeys, birds, all manner of beasts. You hear kind of just buzzing in this soft, uniform chanter as you walk close to this door. And as you do, now that you're looking with those high of a rolls, you do see some small print that has been etched into the intricate details of this door that's kind of interlaid with the decorations of the animals. As you kind of take a look, you do see on the door, it says, "This is the challenge of wisdom. Those of sound mind shall pass, and those who do not have sound mind will have your true animal instincts be revealed. And that's all it says.
Well, shit, Sam.
So basically how this works, anyone who goes through this door, I will roll a d6, or if you like, you could roll a d6, and I can tell you what happens.
Alright, you roll these for Sam.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll a d6 for Hazel, and Sans, you're wanting me to roll a d6 as well. Do you want to go ahead and roll a d6 first, since you're the first one going through Nightfall?
6.
Okay. You go through the door, and let's see here. You roll a 6. Okay. As you pass through the door, I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw as the buzz of the door raises to this ear-splitting roar.
14.
So you got a 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 14 does not pass.
11.
You got an 11?
Yes.
Okay, that does not pass. I'm going to also go ahead and roll for Hazel. And Hazel doesn't pass. Okay, you pass through the door and enter into the next room. However, you have been deafened. All of you have currently been deafened, and you are under the deafening condition for the next 2 hours. As this roaring has basically just been so loud, it's like standing right next to a concert speaker, and like your ears are bleeding. And Hazel's like, "Oh, it's so loud!" And they're just shouting. But it doesn't seem like any of you can hear each other. So you are now through the door. Sans, what are you doing? Do you want me to roll for you?
Yeah, did you roll for me? Yeah.
I haven't rolled for you yet. Do you want me to go and roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Oh god, that doesn't sound good.
Sans, you go through this door. As you go through this door, it feels like this door is analyzing your very thoughts. You feel this probing sensation, and it hurts. Like it feels like someone is taking a needle and driving it through your skull. As you make your way through this door, you feel your body changing. As you enter into this room, you feel your bones extending and contorting into this long, huge kind of posture, and you see new bones kind of growing in their place as well. And Nightfall, as you look in horror as Sans goes through this door, you see that his bones start kind of multiplying, and they start getting bigger, and he starts getting bigger up until he gets up to about he towers over you, standing about 7 feet tall. You now see that he has took on the form of a golden dragon.
Oh god!
All of his bones are now covered with this golden skin, and he now has small wings on his back, and he is now considered a golden dragon worthy. And the fawn, let's see what happens to the fawn. The fawn sees this happen and looks terrified. However, nonetheless, they collect themselves and they go through the door. They got a 3, and with a 3, that is a D100 times 200. So we're going to see what happens to him. Okay, he got 207. So 207 he got. Of all the creatures, of all the things, I literally cannot.
Please help the dear folk.
As Hazel goes through the door, he cries out in pain, and as he goes through the door, he falls to his knees, and you see him shrinking. He shrinks till to about 2 feet tall, and he starts taking on a more fuzzy appearance, and eventually the transformation completes itself, and he is now a small brown cat, and he looks up to you with like a look of horror and meows this terrified meow.
Oh god, and the cat's not even here to understand the cat.
With that being the case, I will say that you all now see, just for continuity's sake, I'm going to say that all of you can still communicate in common, otherwise this would be completely a nightmare. So you all can still speak in common, however, you now have these huge different forms. Mike, just for continuity, I will say that you do now take on all of the stats of a golden dragon wormling. You are temporarily this form until further notice. Or, you...
Stan turns to the camera and he says... He turns to the camera and he says, I need some lotion. I feel a little scaly for the function.
Interesting. Okay, the camera just completely cutscenes away from you guys. And now we're back in the tavern.
What happened to the tiefling?
So let's see here. The tiefling. Yeah, you were fine. You're just deafened.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you guys are deafened. So with that being the case, we're gonna go ahead and pan back over to the tavern. So, let's see here. So yeah, Tony and Cacta, you guys are in this tavern. What are you guys doing?
Well, I was offered a drink.
Okay, yeah. The Kinku looks at you with kind of like a tilted head. And she says, "Ah, yes. I imagine with all of your adventuring, you were relatively thirsty. The first round's on me." And she snaps at the boy walking across the room. Garrick, come here, boy. Come get these lads a drink. He says, oh, right away, ma'am. I was just going to table 5. And she responds. She says, don't worry about table 5. Oh, okay, ma'am. You're in charge. And he really quickly runs into the back kitchen and comes back with 2 other drinks. Actually, he says, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I forgot your drink. He runs back into the kitchen, comes back now with 3 drinks, and he runs over to you guys and gives all 3 of you drinks, and then runs back into the kitchen.
Alright, next up we have our best DJ, Technoax. Their song, Edge of Tomorrow.
And she says, I tell you, that boy, I sometimes don't know if he's coming or going. Anywho, as I said, yes, welcome to this tavern. I suppose my adopted son gave it away. I'm actually the owner of this tavern. But yes, please feel free to make yourselves at home here. They call this the loser room, but honestly, I think it's anything but the loser's room. Inside here, we make ourselves comfortable and cozy, and we have a wonderful time, honestly. So yeah, you guys drink your drinks, and do you guys continue to talk to Cynthia, or do you do something else?
Seeing as she is the owner of the tavern, I'd assume she probably knows the most about this area. I want to question her to see if there's any possible way out of this area.
Okay, yeah. So what do you ask her specifically?
So, you've been here a long time. I was wondering, is there any possible way that someone might escape from this area?
She almost chokes on her drink, and she starts laughing. She's like, yes, I guess you could say I've been here for a long time. I mean, geez, when was this house built? She ponders for a few minutes, and she says, I think, yeah, this place has been here for 30 years. I mean, I think I was part of Wave 2, so yeah, I've been here for close to about 28 years. So yes, I guess you could say that I have been here for a while. As far as getting a way out, to my knowledge, and I mean, I knew the owners when they built this place. To my knowledge, once you come here, you kind of just make your way here until someone decides to win the game. Once the game has been won, then supposedly the rules of the game is all of the previous contestants are then returned to where they go. Because at that point, there's no need for them to be here. So we just make our way as comfortable as possible here. And she continues to drink her drink.
I'm just gonna finally sit down in the chair that I've been holding this entire time.
Oh, I see you brought your own chair. Okay, sure. We have hundreds of chairs here, but sure. Some people bring their own chairs. She looks at you very amused. You do, I will say, you do hear, I'm going to say that you do hear in the corner, you hear this ruckus, and someone stands up from their table, and they start shouting at the other one and says, you cheated! I tell you, that's the reason why you failed this game. How do you even cheat at arm wrestling? Seriously, man. And like this guy, who you can now see is this dwarf, just storms out of the building. And you hear a chuckle from what seems to be another dwarf. He says, ha, always a sore loser with that one. You can see that he's now eyeing you. He says, hey, anyone else want to challenge me to an arm wrestling match? I'm willing to put down some gold for it too, but obviously no one around here can beat me. Ha ha! So yeah, that is, so if any of you want to challenge this dwarf to an arm wrestling match, that is now
Now, an arm wrestling match is all fine and dandy, but I'd rather have games of the tongue with the mind. I sort of wanna.
Okay, so what are you, what are you wanting to do?
Oh yeah, I am a lizard, aren't I?
Yeah,
yes, you are currently a lizard.
We're in a new form. We've even said we're stronger than we were
but
before.
You know what? I'm feeling lucky today, so I'll challenge.
So, yeah, just to kind of let you know, your strength actually goes up to a +2. But as of right now, your guys' constitution is temporarily increased by 2, and your wisdom is increased by 3. So are you feeling lucky, or are you wanting to challenge this dwarf?
Sure. I'm probably going to lose.
Is that +2, like, just +2, not on top of what we had before?
These are all go on top of whatever you have. You do get -2 to your intelligence and a -2 to your charisma.
Oh no, that -2 to my charisma.
But these are all temporary stats, so just keep track of that for right now. But yeah, okay. So who is sitting down to challenge this dwarf? I would honestly say whoever has the better strength.
I think you'll do better.
Okay.
Push you to him.
Oh, look at the little scrawny lizard folk. You know, I've battled many of your kind, so I suppose another one of you will be losing to me. I have the strongest arms in all of the land. I've been mining my whole life. Please sit down and challenge me.
Let me look at my spells really quick before this goes off.
I love that we're about to try to cheat at arm wrestling.
He sits down in the ready pose as you sit down. You clasp his arm.
I'm gonna just watch. I'm gonna be right behind my friend. Basically, I'm his pike man.
So here's how we're gonna go ahead and do this. It's just going to be a standard strength roll. He is going to roll, and then I'm gonna have you roll, and basically whoever beats the roll wins. And he says, "Tell you what, best 2 out of 3. That's how I figure." So what you're gonna do is it's gonna be 3 rounds of this arm wrestling, and best 2 of 3 wins.
All right, you heard it here, folks. We have an arm wrestling match between our new lizard friend and our undisputed champion. Let's get some more music by our DJ Technoax to commemorate this battle. Let's go!
So what's your first roll?
That would be a 5.
He got a 7. He says, "Ooh, oh, okay, wow, I underestimated you there. I almost lost there, but
You almost had me, buddy.
Yeah, you almost had me there, but I tell you," he pats his arm. He says, "These muscles are of solid boulders," and he says, "All right, let's go again, my friend."
Can I try to antagonize him and like say, I don't know, those look like they got a little flop to them.
Go ahead and roll me a intimidation check.
All right, that's just something I can do. Oh boy, come on, good roll. Damn it, shit roll. 7.
You highly offend him. He says, "What? I've been training since the day I was born, lifting boulders out of the mountains of Fair Reach. What do you mean, flab?" Like, he is getting, like, completely heated. I'm gonna have him roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
I know how to play the charisma game.
With the modifier, with advantage, that would actually give me a 20.
Okay, he got a 12. He is just fuming at the mouth. He's like, and he gets bested by you. He says, that didn't count. I lost my temper. Listen.
Oh, no. It counted. Obviously, it proves that your muscles are so flabby that you couldn't even beat him. You almost lost the first time. The second time, proved everything.
Well, whatever. It's 1 versus 1. This means nothing. Best 2 of 3, as I said. We're evenly tied. Now, if you want to do another help action, I will say you're going to need to do something else, because he seems to kind of just be putting on like a stonewall face. Is there anything else you're doing for a help action, or is this going to be just solid?
You know what? I was a little harsh. You may be a little flabby, but you know what? I'm sorry. I'll get you a beer. How about that?
You know what? Listen, I think a beer sounds really good. Tell you what, we'll hold the game for just a moment while we get some beers. Listen, we both need some good ale. With that, with you doing this, you go and get some drinks. The barkeeper, who you now know is the King Pooh. She looks up and she says, "All right, listen, man. I said the first one is free on the house. It'll be 1 gold. Is that cool with you?" Yeah, she looks at you peculiarly.
Do you have anything strong?
Oh, you're looking to have some celebrations. Sure, I've got some dark ale. I'll cost you 2 gold, though.
All right, give me 1 dark ale and 1 regular.
Okay, that'll be 3 gold, please. And she extends out her hand, takes the gold, and fills up 2 cups, one with the dark ale and one with a regular ale. What do you do?
I would like to go over and hand him the dark ale and cheers him with my regular beer and drink with him.
Okay, he drinks with you. So here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, so for a dark ale, I'm gonna say that is going to give him. I'm gonna say that gives him a level 2 drunkenness. You have a level 1. So with a level 1, you have disadvantage on persuasion and deception checks, and you have advantage on being frightened. He is going to have disadvantage on ability checks. He is going to again roll at disadvantage. He says, that was some really good ale. I've had a dark ale. So he says, all right, listen, now that we've wet our whistles, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of fighting. Fighting our strength.
He's waiting right there for you. I go over to the table. You guys ready for a clean fight?
I got 14.
He is going to roll. He got a 12. He is bested by you. And he looks at you and he says, "Wow, you really are strong, especially for good old Mishnah here. I tell you, it's been a very long time since I've met someone of better caliber than I."
He is the best. I told you.
Well, it's been so long since I have had someone beat me. I don't even know what to really do to give you celebratories. I suppose a bet's a bet. I could give you the gold that I bet with, which would be 5 gold. Or if you want some information, I know a couple little things here and there. What would you prefer, my friend?
The gold sounds nice, but
it does. But information's not bad either.
Well. What does the information pertain to?
Well, of this house, of course. I've learned some interesting information from being here for many years. it might be a good privy to you. But, as the challenges have always taught me, you can only pick one.
Information would come in real handy.
Agreed. Do you want to do the information? I believe the information would probably be beneficial.
Yeah, I think the information would be the better option.
If it's information we choose, then.
Information it is, my friend. No problem at all. So, I've been doing some sleuthing around here, and I have learned a little bit of information about this house. So, before they left, I knew one of the builders. One of the builders put a secret entrance in this room, somewhere on the outskirts of the cavern. You have to my understanding, you have to hunt around for it. It's on a false door. But it's supposed to be able to give you a bit of advantage on finding maybe a way out of here. I haven't gone myself. I just never really wanted to leave this area. I figure it's just bad manners to try and find a way to circumvent things. Also, from what I've heard, I'm sure you guys are all aware of the challenge that you guys have partaken of, but I'll fill you in on a little bit more information. So, the man who built this house, his name is Reno the Marvelous. He, from my understanding, is a genie, and this house actually is his quote-unquote prison, if you will. If you are able to free him, he will grant your party 3 wishes collectively. However, it's not easy to get to him. There are 30 rooms in here, and he is supposedly in room 31. But that is all the information that I have for you, my friend.
Wait, if he's in room 31 and you said there's 30 rooms, how is that possible? Does room 13 not exist?
And that's where we'll end our session.
Hey guys, Kaiza here. Thanks so much for joining us on episode 2. We do apologize it took so long to get out of the gate. We're hoping to be more on schedule soon and appreciate all of your continued patience. We've got a few announcements to make in the meantime, starting with, we have new tech! For the most part, this includes new microphones, so you should be able to hear us better in future episodes. We're still taking donations for new equipment and software, so if you do want to help us out with our stretch goal, you could do so by going to coffee.com/Kaiza Stardust. Also, we have a Patreon! So, if you've been thinking about supporting our show but have been holding off because you're like, well, Kaiza, I want to help, but I need something in return. Well, guess what? We got you. New bonus episodes, one-shots, possible tie-in quests that expand the world of Elsewhere, and even a furry-based Star Wars campaign, along with so many other things, including, name a fight, and the possibility of having your NPC in the world. Just so many different things. So if you want to learn more about that, head on over to patreon.com/Dungeon Tales. We're going to be uploading things to that very soon. We've got some things that have already been pre-recorded and will be being sent over there relatively soon. Lastly, of course, special thanks to Kel for our new theme song, purpleplanet.com, DarianCurtis.com, tabletopaudio.com, zapsplat.com, and TechnoAxe on YouTube for helping us with all of our music and sound effects. That's all for me, guys. Continue to follow our show at Dungeon Tales on Twitter to keep up with announcements and updates, or feel free to tweet the DM at Kaiza Stardust on Twitter. See you guys next time. Bye!